Cooking after disaster, it can be a challenge. Yet contaminated water supplies, they're going to require boiling. And a hot, even a warm meal can be a morale booster to keep you in a survival mindset. While I have other videos on cooking after disaster, other stoves and cookers, I wanted to put the CanCooker to the test in this breakout video. It may be an efficient solution for many people when the gas stops or the electricity stops. After cooking a full meal in it, I think it could also replace your heavy Dutch oven or even your crock pot. I don't know, but I'll leave that decision up to you and present this purely as an option. So let's take a look at it. What is a CanCooker? Seth McGinn's CanCooker Jr. is a new design that combines several different types of cooking. It's not really a thermal cooker, but it's not really a Dutch oven. It's not solely a steamer either. It's not a manifold or a muff pot cooker. It's a convection steam cooker without the high pressure. It's basically a cooker that you bring to the point of steam and then reduce the heat to very low, and then you let the steam and slight pressure do the rest. The result is that you lock in more flavor into the food. The lower temperature, low and slow cooking breaks down the fats and meats and keeps the protein fibers relaxed. This results in more tender meat. Because you can cook with very little heat, even a Sterno camp cooker is sufficient to cook an entire meal in it. I wouldn't throw out your Dutch oven and replace it with a CanCooker, but I could definitely see where bugging out or going camping with a 4.5-pound stainless steel and aluminum CanCooker would be much easier than a 4-quart, 14-pound Dutch oven. So the best features of the CanCooker are low heat requirements, locking in flavors, and its incredible lightweight. The low heat requirements mean you could use it as a cooking pot on your old-fashioned radiator if you had to. The folks at CanCooker state that you can use it on any heat source, including a stovetop, grill, camp stove, or a campfire. I would be leery about putting it directly in or on the fire for fear of damaging the pot, but it does have a high-temperature silicone gasket, and they say it can withstand the heat. I would have no problem placing it near or just slightly in the fire or setting it on a bed of coals. The good thing is you don't need to put it fully on the fire because it is made to function with low heat. The CanCookers are made out of 1060 grade aluminum. In layman's terms, that means it's going to be extremely conductive of the heat source, more so than cast iron. These are lined with a ceramic anodized coating that is essential as it means the actual aluminum never touches your food. Aluminum has the second best heat transfer next to copper, and it also makes the cans extraordinarily lightweight and portable. If you place it on fire or coals, make sure to smear soap on the areas exposed to the fire. This will make cleaning the soot off of it much easier. The really exciting thing about this cooker for me is its lightweight portability. Just the CanCooker Jr. itself is a mere 2 pounds, 4.4 ounces. If I load it with a freeze-dried meal before I head out, all I need is water and even a slight heat source to feed 8 people a hearty, calorically dense meal, but the total dry weight will still be under 4 pounds. The whole CanCooker Jr. is only about 13 by 9 by 12 inches, yet can cook up to 2 gallons of food at a time. When I get to my destination, the CanCooker allows me to start a meal and leave it. Depending upon when I'm cooking or steaming, I might not need a fire under it. If I did, a simple Sterno can in a hole with the cooker on top would provide me a safe way to cook it if I couldn't keep an eye on it. For some things though, I could see just bringing this up to temperature, putting out the flames, and then setting it on heated rocks to maintain the low cooking temperature. The CanCooker folks include many recipes, so you don't have to be an expert cook to find something and get started. If all you're doing is steaming seafood or vegetables, you should definitely consider getting one of these. The 2-piece steaming racks are just a few dollars more and it will help make a big difference. I'm going to have to give it a try with some mussels and a Pell, but that may be another video. Some of the recipes in the included book call for the use of soda. Don't use sugar-free sodas if you do that, as the additives can cause an off taste. I'm also anxious to try a pork butt in here cooked with a can of Dr. Pepper added into it. The low heat and slow cooking should result in a very tender pulled pork. The test. For this test, I want to keep it simple and make their beef bourguignon. I started by following their recommendation to give a quick spray of cooking oil. It helps with the non-stick surface. I put in some pork jowl chunks in place of the bacon slices because that's what I had on hand. The pork will provide plenty of fat for my meal and will increase the effectiveness of the interior's non-stick surface. The lid and handles did get hot, so you might want to use a cooking mitt or a pot holder for this. I removed the pork and added the cubed beef stew meat. Once the meat is half cooked, I added the onions, celery, mushrooms, potatoes, carrots, bell pepper, garlic, and stirred. I also added the juice of a couple of tomatoes and 1 whole tomato. I added 1 cheap red wine, 2 cups chicken broth, and a 1/4 cup soy sauce. Then returned the pork jowl to the mix and stirred. Finally, I made a suspension of just 1/4 cup flour and about a cup of water and added this to the mix. The recipe only calls for 2 tablespoons of thyme, but I thought that wasn't very adventurous, so I put in some oregano, sage, and thyme from my herb garden. I then sealed the can cooker with the built-in latches and turned up the fire. The can cooker gets as hot as any other pork might. I let it cook on low heat for about 40 minutes. The result was a pretty good stew. It was a little thin, so I might recommend bringing it to a good boil when you add the flour and water suspension, as this will bind with the fats in a roux and thicken your stew. It was good though, real good. The meat was tender. The flavors were on point, and the whole family enjoyed the meal with a bit of garlic bread I made with their butter garlic salt. While I like to cook, I definitely see the can cooker as freeing. You just dump the ingredients in there and then ignore it. You could spend time with the family while it's doing its thing. Meatballs, soup, pasta, pot roast, fish, whole chickens to venison meatloaf. The recipe book is pretty decent, and you can clearly cook a variety of meals in this cooker, even desserts. I would absolutely recommend this cooker, but I also wouldn't get rid of my Dutch oven. I like my Dutch oven for any permanent campsite, even when using it in my oven, but the can cooker is significantly lighter, and it does require far less heat to produce similar results. Now, from an OPSEC standpoint, either will allow you to cook with a low smell signature and on coals, so your location is safer. Though you could have this cooker packed away in your bug out bag, this is a cooker you can use in your everyday life. It's excellent for stovetop, and when a disaster strikes, you're hopefully already familiar with it by using it on a regular basis and can quickly adapt to new cooking constraints. You can cook 2 gallons of food, so a beef stew like our example here can be almost 20,000 calories and nutrient rich. This will definitely keep you going after disaster. This can cooker used on top of a Kelly kettle would be all you need to run an active campsite, providing both food and drinking water. Your total pack weight would be less than 5 pounds, and you would require a minimal amount of combustible materials to get it hot enough to start cooking with. After a disaster or any pack out of what you pack in, leave no trace situation, this is the way to go. It's going to be efficient and effective. Have you tried one of these? If not, give it a try and post your results in the comments below. I read many of the comments and respond to them when I can. That's typically within the first hour of releasing a video. I can notify you when other videos become available if you take that step to subscribe to this channel. As always, stay safe out there.